Hello, everyone. Welcome to Progress Junior Golf with Content Live Golf. My name's Steve Jackson, and this is Ian Waterhouse. This podcast is all about junior golf. It's about the next generation of golfers. We've done a lot of talking about trying to get more juniors into golf. Well, there's kind of like the elephant in the room, and that's how do you pay for that? Obviously, the cost of living is going up, so it's more expensive to play the game, more expensive to get there. And not just individually, but also for golf clubs as well. So we need to find out ways of funding junior golf. Joining us live on the show is award-winning golf professional Brian Mudge. So he'll be telling about what he's done at his golf club over a number of years, many years, in fact. We're also going to hear from European Challenge Tour professional Ryan Evans, who can give an idea about how much it costs to play in some of these junior competitions and elite amateur competitions. We're also going to hear from Stacey McNicholas, who works for the Golf Foundation. So she can give us some ideas about the authorities, how they can help out with funding, both at individual and at club level as well. What you've done at Overston Park to try and promote junior golf and how you've gone about doing it.
On my second spell at Overston now, I was there from 93 to 2007, and I was involved with the Golf Foundation, but we were a learning centre, so we were getting a little bit of funding from the Golf Foundation during that period. It was just building up our junior membership. But 2015, I came back from Cambridgeshire. The thing that really shocked me when I went back, because when I left Overston, I think we had 111 juniors on the coaching programs, which was all done by me because I was the only coach really. I moved to Collingtree for a short period, and we boosted it to 165, about 15 or 16 groups. But when I came back, I think came to Overston, there was we had about 3 junior members in that sort of period, seven-year period. All the juniors had disappeared. One of my first tasks by the general manager then was to build up the junior section. So what can we do here? Can I do something with this? Get into schools, do a bit of try golf. It's all very well teaching them with plastic clubs, but can we get them over to the club, playing golf, having regular coaching? But we had to have a sort of a community scheme to it. We sort of devised a plan of going into the schools, helping effectively sporting underprivileged children. They were just not getting enough sport, and obviously we wanted to attract them to the golf. We've probably got about 7 big schools probably within a 4 or 5 mile radius, and yet it's probably quite rare that they know that there's a golf course just down the road. Built up communication with them, and main thing was then to get them back to the club. We gave them sort of free coaching. HSBC liked our plan, gave us £1,500 grant to do it. Captain of the day, Steve Moore, was so kind of pleased with that response. He decided to put all his money from his charity raising that year to this plan.
We have several organisations within golf that can really help support golf clubs, individuals. The Golf Foundation can help golf clubs and junior sections to access support, resources and funding to help them introduce new children to golf, but also to help them build their junior section up and also to retain juniors. They can contact the Golf Foundation, their regional officer. The England Golf Trust can help young people who are either in full-time education or under the age of 21, that can help young people who are in financial need or deprivation. There's an England Golf Trust grant which can be applied for by the young person. Obviously, a parent can support with that application or a guardian. So there's a grant available. There's also bursaries available for young people in further and higher education that can help with golfing expenses or university expenses as well. We have a scheme called Ping Prodigy, which helps young people access equipment as well, which is funded in partnership with Ping. We also have a grant scheme available for youngsters with a disability, young golfers. You could contact your golf club directly, your local golf club, and see if they could help. You've maybe done a taster session or a few lessons or done it through your school. and want to do more, I would go to the England Golf Trust and have a look at their financial support available. There's various ideas that clubs can put in place. And again, there is those grants and support available to help with that. We'd always recommend taster sessions, whether that's in schools, in the community, or back at the golf club, and putting on introductory coaching programs to help bring them into the club. So if clubs are looking to grow junior sections, that's one area that you could look at to help grow junior golf at your club. And we don't want finance to be a barrier for any young person. Or I know some clubs do often they will lend equipment to young people. There is a big perception that golf can be expensive, but it doesn't have to be. We are really keen to reach those young people, and there's lots of clubs that are really keen to get new young people in. We have Wales Golf and Scottish Golf who support clubs locally, and they have officers to help with that. And we do work in partnership with them and have programs where we run jointly. The organisations I work with, we do support any young person, boys and girls. Each county association will have a specific girls setup or section that can support girls with their participation. From the Golf Foundation perspective, again, a lot of our programs are focused on sort of introducing children, getting them into coaching programs, also retaining them. We have a girls leadership program that we run, Girls Golf Rocks, which England Golf run. So some of it's quite generic to boys and girls, but there are specific programs and initiatives available for girls. To simplify it, the Golf Foundation is www.golf-foundation.org. For the England Golf Trust, it's englandgolftrust.org. Then if you're looking for your county association, the best thing to do is go on Google, search your county name. There's normally a junior specific section on the website, but it's the junior organiser contact to look for.
I think I probably had about 30 years of a little bit of funding off the Golf Foundation every year. Tremendous what they do. I mean, I've loved being involved. I think we concentrated on just trying to initially build up our junior section, because that's really the thing. Unless you get the kids playing golf in fairly big quantities, for every 50 children, I would say we may produce 5 to 7 junior members. We give them a fair bit of coaching, but we lose them along the way. I don't think you necessarily lose them forever, because they'll come back. Most of the kids I teach do about 6-7 different sports. So golf is time consuming. So ultimately you need money as the key thing. I mean, you need money and enthusiastic people to do the job, not only the coaching side, but the administration side as well. I used to do all that, but now there's a great group of people at our club that really help with whether it's the organisation of the sixes, the roll-up, social competitions, all that sort of thing. We try and sort of nurture our juniors as much as we can. Sort of getting them in the coaching, getting them integrating them into the junior section, and we find a lot of our juniors now are helping the younger ones come on. It's very fragile, junior golf really, because you could easily the whole system could break down easily.
That must have felt a little bit, all the hard work that I put in, kind of, did it feel as if it had gone to nothing?
It was a bit sad. I mean, it was nice when people sort of rejoined the club, because I'd come back and they said, "Oh, great, you're back," and we got the programs going again. And suddenly, we saw juniors, because members were saying to me, "It's so sad to not see junior golfers playing on the golf course." The members of the club are very supportive of what our juniors do. The amount of juniors playing in adult competitions is about right, but we could get to the stage when our next group start coming through and getting handicaps that allow them to play in adult events. We might have to start having qualifying events within the junior competitions to play in the adult events, which actually that might seem a bit negative, but I think see that as a very positive.
How do you kind of get them on board, the members? Because it's getting the club on board, but it's also getting the members on board as well.
We sold it to the members and management as well, because you've got to create this perfect storm of support. we were quite expensive really for junior membership, 250 quid. New owners came in and slashed it, gave free junior membership for under 12s. There's a little bit of criteria attached to that. They had to join into the coaching schemes and stuff like that, but it was all free. So we had the management on board. All the members who originally would give to, say, the captain's charity thought, well, we can see the benefit of the money we're giving to the club in the form of our junior members going out. They're wearing our red shirts and our black tops and our hats, and all that was paid for by the members. And so it gave them a little bit of a pride in seeing that. We pretty much had 100% support. If I'm trying to get them up to course standard, I've got to take them out for the last hour of light in the day. I can't really sort of take them out at peak times. We started holding foursomes tournaments where an adult member would take out an inexperienced junior and that sort of thing, which were really popular events. That enthused the juniors a lot. You have to give them the bug, really, in a way, so that they want to keep coming down. You want to feel that they're jumping out of bed and wanting to come to the coaching sessions or the competitions and that sort of thing. So you've got to keep that enthusiasm going. It's satisfying to every member, that they are full of pride for the club, because we're a very sort of social club, really, in a way. We're obviously not a private club, but we're very welcoming. There should be strong academies or whatever at every golf club. We shouldn't be sort of struggling to get teams representing their clubs. There's plenty of youngsters out there.
I played obviously junior county golf, which is obviously covered by the county. I didn't play many junior elite amateur events, apart from maybe the Caris. Moving up into the men's amateur golf, your costs are almost as close as potential Euro Pro events. You're traveling up and down the country. You're having to stay in hotels. The tournaments are 4 rounds with a practice round. You're eating out every night. Entry fees, petrol, it all adds up, and there's no prize money at the end of it. You're playing for points. Trying to build your career up and get into maybe the national squad, or you're just playing because you simply love golf and love competing in big events. Big amateur events, or any amateur event over 4 days, could easily cost well over 500 quid, 600 quid.
What would your advice be then to a junior or a young amateur who's coming through, and perhaps the club, of how they can help them out?
Yeah, I mean, when I was doing it, I was still working, so I was in a call center doing anything to make a few quid, because although my mum and dad helped me out a hell of a lot, they gave me everything they could, I still had to put my own money towards it, and all that just went back into my golf. The golf clubs, it's really difficult because it's hard to ask for funding, especially if you've got clubs that have got 10, 11, 12 really good kids that can compete. It can turn out quite expensive.
How difficult, and what help can you possibly give someone in that position? And like you say, success breeds to success. This is something you may have to deal with on more and more regular basis.
That's right. That's the challenge. We've got to keep getting people who want to put money into the benefit of junior golf. That creates more good juniors, so we need to find more money for them as well. Some people may be aware we have the Tim Stockdale Foundation, which was, Tim, as you probably remember, was an international show jumper, and sadly died about 4 or 5 years ago. And he was very passionate about not just golf, but young people in sport, giving them a chance. Laura, Tim's widow, she felt what we were trying to do at Overston was sort of matched in a way, what Tim's dream was, so we sort of developed what we call the sounds a bit corny, but it was the Sporting Stars of the Future kind of academy. And we initially had 4 players. The criteria then was to try and sort of get to single figures, and then they got a grant from this fund, and we're into, I think, the 3rd or 4th year of it now, which is a £1,000 grant going towards additional expenses, because obviously when they become when they start playing in regional and international events, like Ryan was saying there, the expenses go up massively. So that £1,000, it doesn't actually go a long way, but it does help.
I was contacted by a junior open at Nuneaton. They wanted more players to play in their competition, and I thought, well, I know a professional who's got a few juniors who might be interested in that. So I contacted you and said, would you be interested in sending some of your juniors to it, kind of thing? And you did. In inverted commas, it was only a junior open. It wasn't anything major, but it was an opportunity for your players to play outside the county, wasn't it?
It was perfect because a lot of them had just got their first handicaps, and they kind of understood what it was about. So they were keen to sort of go to other courses. We had the money, we were able to pay all their entry. In fact, we decided, probably on the basis of that, to enter them all to every junior open in the county that year. So it cost £1,500, I think, to enter every junior open and all our juniors to play in them. So I think we got the nickname the Red Army or something because we were going everywhere, and usually sort of doing very well, so we were kind of doing really well in events, winning some of them, but it wasn't the winning, it was just like the fact that they were going away and having a great time. We took a coach load of juniors to the Ladies Open at Woburn and things like that, which we had juniors going away from that thinking, oh, I want to be a professional golfer. So it really, things like that helped enthuse them. The support you get from the Golf Foundation is fantastic. It gives you good publicity, but you have to convince people into the club to help the junior section. Unfortunately, we've had a lot of people doing that. It is a constant thing, sort of fundraising, and it's very nice when people give you a chunk of money, because it doesn't mean to say you haven't got to work for it, but it does give you a little bit of security. We'll always try and help them as a club. So we try to create that culture. It's not just about teaching them how to swing. It's kind of like teaching them, all aspects of the game, really. And I think once they start enjoying it, we all know golf is not an easy game. So if it was that easy, maybe it wouldn't be so much fun. So I think that's an important thing as well. Getting over the whole package. Golf is it's like a cycle of fun, learning, and improving. Fun, learning, improving. It's all those three have got to keep working in a cycle. If you take one of them out, then the whole thing breaks down, really.
What about legacy, in the sense of, as what happened with you, whereby you went away, and when you came back a few years later, it wasn't there? Is there something in place whereby it's not based on Brian Mudge, it's based on a bigger thing than that?
Absolutely. I'd like to see. We've got a couple of young lads now working at the club, who I hope they will sort of get the junior bug as well. Sort of keep it going, because it has to be a combination of coaching led, committee led. We've got a great junior organizer, Dave Godwin, but he's got a team of very helpful volunteers who are parents of or grandparents of children that play. So there's no egos there at all. They all muck in and help, and it's all very friendly. I always remember something that the highly respected guy, Mr. Peter Alice, two things he felt very strongly about. One was there should be more short development courses in the country to get people into the game, and that's still the case. The other one's that junior golf is a matter of high importance and discussed at the highest level, at full committee level, not just subcommittee or board level if it's a managed golf club or whatever. So and I think that's very true. It's because it's a bit of it's almost brushed under the carpet for a lot of people, isn't it, really? Parents who are bringing children into the game need to know that golf clubs are welcoming. I know not every club is junior friendly, but that's fine, I suppose, if they don't want to be. Because if you can be a really enthusiastic coach, but if you haven't got the support of your club, then you're pretty much flogging a dead horse, really.
Thanks very much, Ian. Thanks very much, Brian. Thanks very much also for Ryan and also for Stacey as well. Really appreciate everyone's time and have a good evening.
Ciao, ciao.